Hey, Tiffany. Hi, hopping in here real quick. It looks like we're having some audio issues.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I saw
No,
I'm
no
on
worries.
mute. I will
No,
restart.
all good. No, I'm
Okay.
gonna hop back out. Can you just skip to that intro one more time?
Okay. Will do. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our November Champions Call. I hope you're staying warm and dry wherever you are. If it's summer for you, I hope you're enjoying the nice weather. But wherever you are, I'm happy that we're gathering together for our final Champions Call of this calendar year. So let's get into the content today. So first, our digital event code of conduct. With any sort of Microsoft event, either online, in-person, hybrid, we have an event code of conduct. And this event code of conduct is essentially just trying to ensure that everyone creates a welcoming and safe environment here. So if you wanted to read more about what that's about, then you can also look into this link, aka.ms/code of conduct. So our agenda for today covers our announcements, and then we have our main topic of Ignite Recap. If you didn't already know, Ignite was last week held in person in Chicago, November 18th to 22nd. We also had an online version, and you can also access on live on demand as well. And then we also have open discussion where you can join us live or in the Microsoft Tech community with your questions, and we will be able to answer them. Next. So our updated call format, we've had this new format for a while, but if you're unsure about how to join, we do have the same sort of meeting times as before at 8:05 a.m. and 5:05 p.m. Pacific. And these are the same sort of meeting links, if you can see on these slides right here of how the meeting links are. And then, of course, if you're already part of our Champions program, make sure to join our Champions program at ak.ms/m365 champions, where you can access our PowerPoint decks as well as previous recordings from years past. Alrighty, so for our announcements, we have our show with Caruana and Heather called Mondays at Microsoft. And this is sort of a fireside show where the two of them talk about all things Microsoft in the ecosystem for that 2-week period, right? So it could be top product announcements, it could be on events that are coming up in the Microsoft ecosystem. And it's a really engaging show, especially if you're on the Pacific Coast. You can enjoy it over a cup of coffee because they usually host this show on 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. So this is actually streamed live on the Microsoft community LinkedIn. And so you can visit this link here at ak.ms/Mondays at Microsoft to see their show notes as well as the next episode when it airs. So for MGCI, MGCI also switched to this new community format where we are brought to you on live stream via on youtube.com at the community learning channel on Microsoft. And you could also see this at the tech community as well, where we will be able to answer your questions over there as well. But this is hosted by our lovely coworker, Heather Cook, and she does a great job talking about all things community. We also have a whole flow of different regional leaders and board officers talking about different aspects of community event organizing, as well as just different aspects of being a first-time speaker, for example. So if you want to get involved or even learn about how you would hold an event in your community, either hybrid, online, in person, then these are the calls for you. So make sure you check out ak.ms/mgci to join them. So for adoption.microsoft.com update highlights, typically I have my good friend Jessie join us, and she is the content lead for adoption.microsoft.com, but she is out for the holidays, so I'll be doing so on her behalf. So for these update highlights, the first will be the addition of Microsoft Ignite highlight on the Microsoft 365 Copilot page. And this is on the normal adoption.microsoft.com/Copilot page. And these are this highlighted Ignite content on there. So make sure to check that out. They also they got started with Copilot and PowerPoint, Word, and Teams Guide and the Copilot Success Kit. Addition of the new chat and channels experience. I don't know if you tried that feature out yet, but it's super, super cool. I think it definitely makes it so that there's a lot less chatter in my teams and looks a lot cleaner overall. And then updates to the Microsoft 365 Copilot for small and medium business page, aligning with the Microsoft 365 implementation framework and resources. So if you haven't checked out that page yet, that Microsoft 365 Copilot for SMB page is a really cool page. We just recently revamped it with the SMB Copilot Success Kit that is similar to, but different from the Copilot Success Kit for Enterprise that we have. And then addition of a customer adoption page for the agents in SharePoint page. We'll get into SharePoints a little later on because it's definitely all the hype for Ignite as well. But make sure you check out that adoption page on adoption.microsoft.com. And of course, if you wanted to get updated or you wanted to just read on what their release notes are for adoption.microsoft.com, make sure you check out that page because adoption.microsoft.com gets released very, very often. I think it's like 2 times a week now, and there's tons of goodness and tons of great product updates there. All right, so if we move on, first, we're going to get into our content today. This is our Ignite 2024 recap. Like I said earlier, Microsoft Ignite was last week, November 18th to 22nd. This is our annual event. If you don't know what Ignite is, this is our annual event that spotlights the updates and creations across all of Microsoft. So it's probably one of our biggest, if not the biggest, event of the year that, our top leaders such as Satya, Jeff, and Rajesh all come on stage and talk about the different releases that they're pushing out that enables customers and partners and developers as well to basically, get up to date on different sort of Microsoft features. And so for this event, there was 200,000 total registered participants. And this, of course, includes online as well. And then it was actually a sold out show with more than 14 attendees in person. So, but definitely wanted you to check out ignite.microsoft.com because they have different sort of on-demand videos from Ignite that you could check out all for free as well. And then you can also check out the Ignite Book of News for all the different product announcements that they have announced there. Right. So agents. I know if you haven't watched Dr. Nadella's keynote, he talks about agents in probably the first part of his keynote was really all about agents, but super, super interesting. I know when I first heard about agents, I thought, wow, this sounds like something pretty complicated or hard, but it's actually exactly the opposite. So, I remember in his keynote, he talked about he wanted agents to be basically like thinking about that teammate, right? That teammate that's really good or knows all things about benefits or HR, right? Or that team of yours that's really good at planner and can really make really great, a task and plans for the team. So it should be as simple as when you deploy an agent is as simple as basically opening a page on Word and typing some text into it or creating a PowerPoint on, X topic. So something simple and easy to do. And so getting into the different types of agents today, first we have the facilitator agent. The facilitator agent is basically someone that you add to a Teams meeting, right? Like they could be the moderator, for example, and they would basically keep the meeting focused. Maybe if there's an agenda items, they would go 1 to 4 on the agenda item, making sure everyone is on track and on the flow of the meeting topic today, as well as keeping the meeting focused, as well as taking notes for the meeting and any sort of follow-up and action items that you expect a person that is meant for taking notes in a meeting to do. And then second is that project manager agent. So within project for that agent in Planner helps you automate the key steps in a project assignment. So think about that person in Planner that would delegate all the different tasks, would be able to, if they needed to create content, they would grab it from the appropriate people or create it themselves and then be able to basically create this from scratch. And lastly, from this slide, the self-service agent using the Microsoft 365 Copilot Business Chat answers for common related tasks. So what this means, if you could see into that my picture I have on the right-hand side, and essentially just means that someone you could ask when this agent is basically someone that you can ask questions on, hey, know, what are the HR policies for example, for parental leave at work, or what are the policies for how can I submit. Next slide here. Great. So next slide here, we have our interpreter agent. So this is early in preview next year, but this is a real-time translation tool in Teams with up to 9 languages, and the opportunity to basically have the agent sort of simulate the user's voice for any meeting participant. Of course, this is at your discretion if you would like to, but I found it really, really cool that just for folks that perhaps doesn't really want to be on cameras, maybe they have a cold or cough that day, could be quite useful in those sort of instances. And again, making sure that everyone feels sort of comfortable and being in the same sort of meeting content, and really enabling them to be able to use Teams in their own sort of language is really helpful. So that was what the interpreter agent does. And then last but not least, in terms of agents, we have the SharePoint agent. Every SharePoint site will have this agent, and that's what Satya aligned to. But I think it's super cool is basically it has this instant access to have real-time information. So everything in that SharePoint, and you can also dedicate it to, this agent that's only for this folder, or perhaps this agent that you can name. So I think it's really cool. So if you wanted to name Carla, this agent for this agent that's really great for perhaps updating the calendar in the SharePoint site for everyone's community calls, or for all these user groups, and Carla will be doing so, and perhaps this other agent named Dan will do something else in terms of sending emails to everyone within that SharePoint group. But again, this is super cool because I just think that rather than having one person, a live person, dig through perhaps a very detailed and outlined SharePoint site, then you would be able to have that agent do so, and even dedicate agents to certain tasks. Alrighty, and for Copilot Actions and Analytics. So Copilot Actions, now in private preview, allows anyone to basically automate everyday tasks, whether it's basically getting like a daily summary of what's going on within your meetings for the day, as well as getting an email upon return of what everything that came by. I don't know about you, but whenever I come back from vacation, I have to splurge through all 200 emails and team messages. So I really, really appreciate Copilot Actions, where they can just at least summarize. So if I know some sort of person emailed me with an urgent need, or they said something urgent, then Copilot would at least surface that to my attention, and I would address that before I address the other things. But as we know, if you don't already know, Copilot already analyzes spoken words and chat messages with additional on-screen content that will enhance the user experience of basically this like 360 view of meetings from different ways, such as meetings and otherwise. And so one example I really like that Satya brought up is you can use Copilot Actions and your Copilot Analytics to basically summarize, like which products, if your business that sells products, then which products had the highest sales. And for example, you can also ask Copilot of, okay, what was the feedback for this slide personally? Because now Copilot in Teams will also be able to analyze shared on-screen content as well. I actually really, really appreciate the analyzing on-screen content, because I've been one of those folks that someone, perhaps an executive, shares some deck and plenty of great information, but could be perhaps an eye bleeder sometimes, because there's so much information on there you can't possibly read it or absorb it in time. So taking out my screenshot things, but now I don't have to, because Copilot will basically analyze that content for me that's shared on screen. I don't have to basically go ask them for, to share their PowerPoint deck later on, especially if you don't have that sort of relationship, or maybe that person might have an EA. So maybe a while before you get that deck, at least Copilot already summarized it for you and was able to recap that information for you. Alrighty. So next, Copilot file summary. So Copilot file summaries, usually when a file is shared in chat, right? You don't have the time to open it, read through, grab the key ideas. You could later on, of course, but there may be some documents that you open them, they're 50, 200 pages long. And of course, it takes time to do so to basically, read through and gather your own thoughts. But now with file summaries in one-on-one and group chat and Teams, Microsoft 365 Copilot can quickly summarize content from Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, PDFs. So you can understand the main points without opening the file. Hopefully you can see this GIF right here on the right-hand side. And if not, feel free to look at the deck later on after this call. But in here, you can see that the mouse is just panning over the document, and then you're going to be able to basically see that summary without actually having to open it and then obviously ask Copilot to generate a summary. First, you can do that as well, but again, just saving that one extra step, that one extra click. Wanted to note that this feature is also available on mobile, so it's easier to basically grasp key ideas, even if you're on your mobile. And of course, wanted to highlight that it respects the file security policies, ensuring that only users with access to the file can receive that summary. And basically, they'll have the same sensitivity label as the original file. Alrighty, I think that was my last one before I turn it off to our good friend, our familiar friend, Josh Leporati. So Josh, if you can come on and talk to us about the Copilot control system.
Hey, absolutely. Excuse me. Thank you, Tiffany. Hey, champion community, great to be here. Long time participant. What do they say in the radio show? Long time participant? Short? I don't know. I was gonna have a cool phrase that lost me there. But want to also address real quick. Hopefully, some of you or a lot of you have seen me posting in tech community. We did miss posting the live video feed on there. So if you are watching this on YouTube and want to participate in tech community, you can go back there now and refresh, and you'll see the video. Apologies for missing that. We're hearing your comments loud and clear on the simplicity and the ability to join very quickly and see that. Continue to provide that feedback. We continue to work with that feedback, and we'll continue to improve the experiences of joining this show and others based on that feedback. So just want to take a moment to apologize, to thank you all for working through that with us. But if you do go refresh the page now, you should see it on the tech community. So I'm here just to cover a few more Ignite 2024 recap areas, and then we'll move into open Q&A. You'll see me a little bit quiet on tech community now, and then I'll come back and address any questions that y'all have there as well. But the first thing for me is talking about this new Copilot control system. So if you think about ways of how you can help, or you and IT can help address some Copilot controls, to address some levers and get some granularity out of that, this Copilot control system will be a great mechanism for you to be able to leverage. So again, it's designed to help you adopt these agents that Tiffany was talking about, accelerate some of the value going out there, and really being able to see where you can go and apply and turn these things like SharePoint Advanced Management being included in this, the controls and the admin center being available to all Copilot customers, and probably, hopefully, a good benefit here of measuring and reporting, right? So as part of this, the Viva Insights are included as well to be part of the overall Copilot analytics that you can draw from this. Now, a little bit of a pivot outside of, hold on one second, I hit next too quick. A little bit of a pivot outside of Copilot centric, but talking more about Microsoft Places. I know we've had some conversations here recently about, hey, what's the latest with Microsoft Places? Well, that is now generally available. Brings a lot of rich features on how you can kind of note if you're in office, out of office, where you're working, finding places to go and sit and work, analytics around places that are available for your organization, but really helps kind of optimize those in-office days, and help your colleagues see where you are or not. I know I've seen it pop up for colleagues of mine. I'm always remote, but when I am in the office, it's cool to see who is there when I'm traveling and in office, and I can go and tell them hello, welcome them, but get a good presence of who's there really, and find spaces. It's been a great help there. But just know that it is now generally available, and you can go check it out. Now, next, this is more for the admin side, Windows Resiliency Initiative. So you can check out. We'll make sure that we paste the link in Tech Community. I'm hearing the comments too, right? I know we don't have PowerPoint Live where you can click on some of these links, but we'll drop this. But a solution to help give you a quick way to recover from disruptions against Windows updates against PCs. So this is coming to Windows Insider in early 2025. You'll see this and some deeper information on it too from that book of Ignite, the recap that was out there. Now, next, something that I was super excited to see is the Windows 365 link. So now in preview coming around April 2025 of next year. So if you saw Ignite keynote, you saw a good little demo reel about this and some insight. But what this is a low cost box to give you connectivity into a cloud machine, right? So you've got some local hardware that will empower some of the typical experience you need, like video and Teams, some local AI, but then also securely by design connecting you into Windows 365 and the cloud PC type infrastructure. Something really cool to start thinking about how you can put low cost devices in certain locations and have that always connected into your cloud PC experiences. It's in preview now. We'll drop, and there's great information around it now, but coming again around April of next year. So be looking for that. Okay, so a few things that are next around the Azure world. Azure AI Foundry. If you saw this, this brings together some other AI models or some existing AI models out in Azure around really the tooling and safety mechanisms to help you design, customize, and manage your own AI solutions. So you'll probably start to see, right, that influx of custom designs, net new AI capabilities that maybe your organization is creating and kind of standardizing for your own organization. You'll be able to use Azure AI Foundry to kind of manage that, right? Integrate it with popular tools like developer tools like GitHub or Visual Studio, Copilot Studio, but really gives you that place to design and customize those AI applications that you're creating, that you're bringing into the organization. Now, as part of that service, you've also got the Azure AI Agent Service. This is coming next month in preview, but this also helps you orchestrate and deploy your enterprise agents out to your organizations. So you've got a lot of unique ways that you can go and deploy out different AI services. Azure AI Agent Service is that mechanism for you to bring and automate your own deployment of these services with your business processes. So the Azure AI Foundry and Azure AI Agent Services, again, this one is coming in preview next month. So we'll have more about that too. And then talking about Ignite. So again, right, we know this November one is typically all around our Ignite recap. We do have news about Ignite coming in 2025. So it'll be in San Francisco, the week of November 17th. So San Francisco, California, and US for our global audience there. But around the same time period, that week of November 17th. You can sign up now to get notified when more event details are posted and released. And when registration opens. Nothing has opened yet, but just wanted to give you a heads up of where the next Ignite will be and timeline of when it'll be around the same time that it was this year, but located in San Francisco. So that's kind of our recap. I know we were going to pivot and it'll take us just a moment, but if you have any questions, I'm going to go back and look in the tech community to see if we've got any specific questions posted around any of these announcements that we shared. Or if you have other questions for myself or Tiffany, I know Tiffany will be coming back on in just a moment. Happy to take any of those questions. Would love for you to join the what we call the green room, so you can come on air with us if you like. We'll give a moment for that process to happen in. And Tiffany, I'm going to turn my head a bit and look in tech community and see if there are any questions that I need to bring over here for that. So give me just 1 second.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. Yes, if you have any questions or you want to come on to the call live, then you can join us here at the live stream at aka.ms/m365 champion call/ask. Yes, and I am aware that we didn't have the video up on the MTC page earlier, so I really apologize for that. But it is recorded, so if you wanted to just go back to the YouTube video later on to watch the first couple minutes, then feel free to do so. So, we have a guest in the studio, Walter. So, Walter, did you want to come on and ask us your question or give us your comment? Hi.
Right, but I'm having some with. Okay.
Hey, Walter,
yes,
I
I have a question about the facilitator agent. Is that essentially what was advertised at the beginning of the year as the team Copilot? Is that what it formed to, or is?
Yes, that's right, Walter.
Okay.
Yeah, the team Copilot agent. That's the facilitator agent that you're saying now.
Okay, great. Because we did advertise it to our company, so I will give them an update on that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll paste a link in the tech community, Walter, that talks about that change in the facilitator. And thanks for joining, Walter. I know you jumped back off, but appreciate you joining on air.
Awesome. We have another in the green room. His name is Vishal. So, Vishal, if you wanted to come on. All right, Vishal, if you have a question or a comment, you can feel free to unmute your mic and ask us your question. Alrighty. Well, going to give you the opportunity, but if not, then feel free to join us later on or drop your comment here in the Microsoft Tech community. I know it's a new platform, so folks might
just want to call out for
confused.
Yes. For Jim in the community. Thank you, because Jim correct or gave me the right thing. It was long time listener, first time caller. That's where I was trying to go earlier, but like I told Jim in the community, my brain was multitasking in a lot of places and it just didn't connect those dots. So thank you, Jim. There are a couple of questions in the community. I'm going to read these out loud and we can address some of these. So I don't know the name on this one. I see the username of CKWGA. The question is, do all employees in an organization need to have a Copilot license to use Microsoft Places? And I am not sure on licensing requirement for Places. Tiffany, I don't know if you have any information on licensing.
I think they went general available not too long ago, but we can look into it. Maybe. Quick search. But while we're waiting for that, I know there was a question from Tammy on she wants to get the slides and will they be posted? So they will not be posted, but if you wanted to join, if we can put the banner up for joining our Champions program. So simply if you join visit that link, aka.ms/become a champion, then you can join the Champions program. And then through that, there is a special sort of link that you get access to. And within that link, you'll be able to get our slides today, as well as all the previous slides, as well as all the previous recordings that we have had before. So awesome. Let's see. It's not loading. Okay, we will revisit the Places question. Josh, did you have another question for us?
I do, yeah. So on the Places questions, there's another one out there too. I'm not sure on the answer here, but let me read it out loud from Tyler. Are there plans on the roadmap to address presence automation via the Wi-Fi network that you're connected to, based on what area you're located in? It would make it easier to have more accurate status updates. And they're an MTR shop right now, so automatic presence isn't possible for the org. Tyler, like our other unknown well, the prior licensing wasn't directly Places related, but I'm not sure on that one. I'm going to comment back to you in the tech community though, and just note it. We'll go follow up and find that. But yeah, I'm not sure on that either.
I do have an answer for licensing. So Microsoft Places is available in Microsoft Teams Premium. So it's included in Teams Premium. And then you are able to get a 1-month free trial for Teams Premium right now. If you wanted to try Teams Premium, and of course, definitely if you wanted to try Places within Teams.
Awesome. Thanks, Tiffany.
So I'll share the link with the Microsoft Tech Community later.
Awesome. Let's see. Oh, okay. Tyler, you grab that license requirement and paste it out there too for Places. Thank you.
Cool. I saw that.
Dana, I was gonna say, Tiffany,
Okay.
Dana posted in here
Ahead,
about how to get the links from this format. So we'll post the links in tech community for the places where we've communicated this. And then also, Tiffany, you were sharing that when you join the resources for being a member of Microsoft 365 Champion Program, you'll be able to get the assets from that location, right?
Right. So within the champion, when you become a champion, you get basically a link to our resources page, and within there you can get all different sort of links, PowerPoints, and recordings. I saw there was a question about the Windows Resiliency Initiative. So anything that we covered today, sort of Ignite recap content-wise, you can find at the Ignite Book of News. So yeah, so that would be where you could find it. And we can also bring up that in our banner below if you wanted to check out the Ignite Book of News.
Awesome. And I'd like to call out just while
So
we're
more on Places.
refreshing.
Yeah, I purposely actually brought in Places. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good, Tiffany. Go ahead. You were talking about Places.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I think there's a okay, so yes. For Places, yeah, I purposely put in Places because I know that champions, many of you asked, what's going on Places all the time. And I'm happy to finally bring an update to y'all. But yes, so Sharisa was saying, so many businesses are enforcing back of office. Would be interesting to see how many people can use Places. And I think that's one of my favorite things I'm hoping most of you, or a lot of you I know that are in the enterprise role already has Teams Premium. And so within that, it's a license included in Teams Premium, but I really like that within Places, Copilot will basically, schedule the meeting. And even like, for example, it's going to be an in-person meeting. So if there's 10 people invited and 5 people are RSVP for attending in person, then Copilot within Places will actually also adjust the meeting room to be, a more fitting room. Like, it wouldn't be too helpful if you're in an auditorium, but you're only 5 people, right? So again, I think that's one of the neat places is that we do have that AI Copilot component where it'll be helping you out, especially, also for, just coordinating like how many people are in person, how many people in the office, also seeing when your colleagues are going to be in or not. So I could see, just personally speaking, I could see more people using it. I know that, I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about, but we just had a windstorm here in the Redmond area. So many of us without power, and there were select few offices, just for that Microsoft was directing employees to go to. And so I know myself, I'm thinking, wow, the office is going to be so crowded, and I would like to know, if there's going to be a spot for me, or I shouldn't go in. So I think that instance super helpful, right? To basically know from a ways and have Copilot just basically within Places look up a good meeting room for you and perhaps your colleagues are going to meet up there. But definitely as as there's so many businesses going back to office, it's I could see it becoming a greater use, especially that it comes within your Teams Premium license. All right, sorry, Josh. Go ahead. Did you have that question you had earlier?
Yeah, all good. You grabbed it, so we're good.
Okay.
The one thing that I'll add in too, so thank you all for participating out in the tech community. If you've noticed, hopefully you noticed, hopefully it's a positive improvement, but we'd love feedback in the community on this as well. There's been a change from the last calls you've experienced in tech community in this month's call, minus the fact that we didn't have the video embedded in the beginning. Barring that, the format should look a little bit different, right? You're commenting and the threads inside the comment. We actually went through a update in tech community. This is on a newer platform for us. This was done very first part of November. So again, we're trying to hopefully bring more continuity and conversations in the community so that we can have a addressable area to get all the questions answered and a log to go back and hit. But I do want to make sure that I resoundingly say that we hear the feedback on the experiences, and you'll continue to see us make changes and pivot to ensure that these calls are easily attended and great value for when you're coming here and trying to get direct content from us and engage directly with us. So thank you. Just over the top, you'll see in a moment some links posted for feedback and review of this call. Please continue that feedback. That feedback is what drives the changes and impacts that we see coming into here. So
Thanks, Josh. Yes. Yes, feel free to give us your feedback. We've also, we've heard the existing feedback so far of how, perhaps this call format may be not fitting for, different employees and employers, but definitely continue to give us your feedback, and hopefully we can enact some change that would be more fitting to this group in upcoming months. And yes, Johnny says, don't click the green room link out of sheer inquisitiveness, or I'll ask you a question. Oh, Tiffany, myself, will ask you a question. Yes, so the screen room link, we would love for you to join us live, but definitely not necessary. But yes, this is a link. This is when you can come on to our green room and ask us your question live, just how we've had previously before in past champions calls. So if you were to join that green room link at this ak.ms/n365 champion call/ask, then you would be called on stage and ask us your question or give us your feedback, but definitely not necessary if you do not like to do so. Great. Yeah, so Josh, the rationale of why we moved the champions out of M65 and teams into YouTube. Yeah, I understand the PowerPoint Live, and I definitely know that many of you missed that. So hopefully we will have a newer solution for you in upcoming months. But the rationale was that we wanted to basically have this platform on the tech community and on YouTube so that more people worldwide could view and see our videos and see these champion calls, and hopefully, just be more accessible on demand, so people don't feel like, hey, they have to join at 8 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Pacific time. Otherwise, they're going to miss the call. And, as you know, our recordings previously were gated to just becoming a member. So after the call, then, or after our 2 sessions of the call, 8 to 9 p.m., 5 to 6 p.m., then there, wouldn't really be any other way for people to discover these calls or find these calls. So we just thought it would be way better to have these calls be more accessible to people worldwide, and you don't have to watch it at this exact same times when it's being on YouTube and Microsoft Tech Community. So you want to throw some heart reactions? Yes, I love heart reactions. Gosh. Okay. But yes, we are looking to a solution that will hopefully make everyone here happy, or most folks here happy. And but definitely keep the feedback going, and let us know if you enjoy the content or if you want to see other content as well. Cool. Josh, do we have any sort of other questions?
None that we can directly answer on air. What I'll say is the ones that are still out there in the chat, we will come back and answer those directly. Um, and then there's some questions just around usability of this format that we'll make sure that we address and take into our feedback. Like Tiffany said, and I know we've harped pretty big on continuing to provide us that feedback, but you'll see adjustments based on that feedback from us. So thank you for taking the time for that. But yeah, Tiffany, for the rest of these, we'll come out here in the community and continue to address and provide answers for those.
All right. Well, thank you so much. If we don't have any other questions, then we will wrap on today's content today. I know that Ignite Recap is typically one of our November offerings, so thank you so much for engaging with us on the Microsoft Tech community, and Walter and the other folks that came onto the call today to ask us your questions. Hopefully, we are looking into ways that we can make everyone happy with basically live engagement, and PowerPoint Teams engagement, live on demand and being more accessible to everyone. So please hold on for that. And I do want to return to our slides because I definitely have a couple more slides here. Events, if you're not already familiar, our upcoming events. So today we have our call, but tomorrow in November 27 to 28, we have collab days in Budapest, Hungary. First, we also have the European SharePoint Conference. It's called ESPC, and this is December 2nd to 5th and held in Stockholm, Sweden. So this is going to be one of the major last events for our team, at least for the last calendar year, and it's going to be next week, so super soon. But our leaders at Microsoft will definitely be there. Jeff Teeper, Adam Harmon, Heather Caruana, they're all going to be at the European SharePoint Conference in Stockholm, Sweden. So if you haven't visited or you don't know what it is about yet, then feel free to check out that European SharePoint Conference link in the slides later on. December 6th and 7th, we have a Microsoft 365 Saturday Bangalore and Bangalore, India, as well as on January 17th, wanted to give a special shout out to the Microsoft 365 communities in Phoenix. I know there's going to be those great community organizers. I believe Cheryl Hall and Caruana herself is actually partially located in Phoenix, so she will be there. I know that they're hard at work at organizing this event, so definitely check out that event. And yeah, it would have, and if you're looking to be in a warm place, it wouldn't hurt to go to Phoenix in January, because places like Seattle here are definitely quite cold. But yes, so next but not least, I wanted to talk about our next call. So our next call is going to be in January. I believe I'm getting the designer team to come on in January, but TBD on that, either the designer team or a portion of the Copilot team, but I'm in talks with those two about for January and February. But definitely wanted to remind you all that there's going to be no call in December, as we typically hold. We have a holiday break in December, and this is going to be true for other communities as well, such as the Microsoft Global Community Initiative. MGCI doesn't have a call. Small and medium business doesn't have a call in December as well. And hopefully, if you celebrate the holidays in December, you have happy holidays, stay warm, and engage with your family and friends. So these are some links that you can engage with us. You can share your feedback. When Josh and I were talking about feedback earlier, you can share your feedback with us at ak.ms/Microsoft 365 champion call feedback. And that's how you would let us know of anything you would like to see upcoming, as well as what you like or dislike about these calls. And then you can also join us at the Driving Adoption community. This is at aka.ms/driving adoption. And this basically leads you to the Driving Adoption community on the Microsoft Tech community. Last but not least, invite your colleagues to become a champion at ak.ms/m365 champions. And this is how you'll be able to access the call resources after the call, such as the PowerPoint deck. You're going to be able to access all the different links in here. So this is the temporary solution for not having PowerPoint live. I'm just calling that out. But yes, this is how you access those links, as well as you can look at previous call recordings, this current call recording, especially if you missed it. All right. So thank you so much for joining us for the November Champions Call. And we will have another session of this later on today at 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. We'll make sure that the video is embedded and everything. So hopefully everyone's going to be able to join us there. And again, just thank you so much for all your support for the Champions programs over the few years. And of course, through this new transition. And we're still iterating, we're still listening. So thank you for, giving your feedback and letting us know how much you've enjoyed this call and different changes that we look to hopefully enable. But thank you for joining us today, and hopefully you have a good rest of your year. I really appreciate it. So we're going to bring on Josh back on to say goodbye.
Appreciate everybody joining. Like we mentioned in the comments, and hopefully you hear it from us. We love this community. Thank you for your continued feedback and participation in these calls. These would not be possible without you.
Oh, Josh, you cut out. What'd you say? Something without you. You want to be without me?
No, sorry, Tiffany. I think you may be having some audio difficulties.
Okay, I think Josh is hopefully, I think he was saying something good.
Yeah, just saying thank you to the community here. Appreciate your time.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, he was saying thank you to the community, and these calls wouldn't be possible without you, hopefully. He's not saying he would like to be without me. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Just wanted to bring on Josh and just say a final thank you. Josh is super important. He was previous community manager. I always appreciate the times to be able to work with Josh. And of course, Aaron, our producer in the background as well. He is always hard at work at these. All right. Thank you for joining our call today. Appreciate it. And we will see you in January. Thank you so much.